So post-Arab Spring, what happens? There's a realization. So the Arab Spring, around 2010, 2011, 2012, you have these uprisings happening in Egypt, in Syria, in Libya, in Tunisia, all of these countries. You have an Arab Spring, and some of the leaders are deposed. Some of the rulers, the dictators, are deposed. Others are not. Others crack down, like in Syria with Bashar al-Assad. And so there's a realization that the monarchs have, the Gulf monarchs, that this is a big danger, but it's not only a domestic danger. Why? Because now you have social media. And that was the big difference compared to the Sahwa movement in the 90s. The uprisings that came by 2010 were being fueled by social media. You have Facebook, you have Twitter, you have YouTube. So the threat to the monarchy is not only domestic, it's also foreign, because people are tweeting in this interconnected globe. People in the West, Muslims, Arabs, non-Arabs in the West are tweeting about the need for democracy and human rights, and we're tired of these tyrants. They're tweeting, and then people in the countries are consuming that, and now you have increasing translation technologies that are translating the English to their languages, Arabic mainly. That's a danger. This is a threat. If it were just purely domestic, we just throw all the threats in the dungeons and we execute them. That's what we do. But we can't go out and execute en masse everyone who criticizes us internationally. So this is a big problem. So they worked with the United States. They worked with Israel to crack down on extremism, to crack down on hate. And then you'll notice what happened, like right after the Arab Spring in this time period, 2011, 2012, 2013, ISIS suddenly comes up. ISIS suddenly becomes international news. They start committing the heinous and over-the-top crimes, like with just shocking brutality, beheadings, and the most disgusting type of violence. And just this kind of animosity that disgusts the entire world, especially the Muslims, bringing all this hate to the name of Islam and to the name of Muslims. And we have to fight ISIS. So we have to crack down. And we cracked down with the CVE framework, the Countering Violent Extremism framework, which was developed in the EU, in the European Union. It was also developed in the United States through these security agencies. It was eventually ratified through the UN, and it was pushed through international law, so that many countries have to adopt, Muslim countries have had to adopt the CVE framework. Of course, we know what is the real reason. The real reason for this is to crack down on Islamism, to crack down on conservative Muslims, to crack down on anyone who is opposed to secularism, anyone who's opposed to liberalization. Just brand them as hate. Just brand them as ISIS. So if someone like Daniel or Fulan is calling for Khilafah, calling for Sharia, calling for we need Islamic values, we need family values on the basis of Islam, on the basis of the Quran, on the basis of the example of the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, these are hate preachers. These are ISIS. We have to put them in prison. So that becomes the excuse. So this is very naturally extends out of Madkhalism. This naturally extends. And that's why Madkhalism has become the tool for secularization. It's the religious argument or the religious justification. Oh, you see your society turning into just a bunch of atheists? You see the society around you because the rulers are putting on Shakira concerts, and the rulers are having like Oktoberfest beer festivals in our country, and we're having, LGBT flag and drag queen parades, and we're having what are the exact Hindu temples? We're building Hindu temples, and we have the Abrahamic house, the Abrahamic religion. You're seeing this happening before your eyes. You're seeing your children becoming liberalized and leaving Islam. Don't complain. Don't complain about any of that. That's khuruj. You're a khariji. You're a khariji. And guess what? We'll secretly report you to the secret police, and they'll disappear you. The mukhabarat are going to come and throw you in a dungeon, and that's the end of it. See how sick religion is used. Islam is being used by these shayateen to secularize and destroy Islam. And that's not even all. If it was just that, okay, that's bad enough. That's enough to call them shayateen. But then they also ally with the Zionists. They're also pushing Zionism and Israel and their atrocities and throwing the Palestinians under the bus. So who's this guy? Who's this Abdullah on the screen? Let me change the screen now. Okay, listen to this guy. This is Sheikh Abdullah bin Zayed, the foreign minister of the UAE, and this was stated in 2017. And they just keep recirculating this video from 2017. Even Elon Musk shared this, because now we know Elon Musk is in cahoots with Benjamin Netanyahu. And they keep sharing this. Listen to what this guy says.
And let me say this in English so you can understand what I'm saying.
I have translation.
No, I know you have translation, but I just want to make sure you get it right. There will come a day that we will see far more radical extremists and terrorists coming out of Europe because of the lack of decision-making, trying to be politically correct, or assuming that they know the Middle East and they know Islam and they know the others far better than we do. And I'm sorry, but that's pure ignorance. Okay. And
Okay, so this is the foreign minister, Abdullah bin Zayed. And if you search on Twitter, you get a more specific search. This is another picture, I guess more recent. Look at the accounts, like all these Zionist accounts, like all these Zionist Madkhalis accounts, they all share it. They like keep sharing it over and over again. Oh, obviously Sammy is not a Zionist, David is not a Zionist, but they're criticizing it. But all of, like this Loe Sharif, they just share this over and over again. Why? Like, so what is he saying in this Abdullah? He's saying that we know extremism in the UAE, so let us help you. Help us, help you. Help us, help you. To crack down on the extremists in Europe and in America. We'll tell you who the terrorists are. We'll tell you exactly who these terrorists are so that you can crack down on them. Because they're a danger to you. They're a danger to you as much as they're a danger to us. So this is the strategy that has been used to take out the foreign enemies of these Gulf monarchies. So they have gone through a strategy to do this. They have made different attempts because once post-Arab Spring, when they realize, okay, this is a real problem, we can't just, it's not just domestic threats to our legitimacy and our rule, we have to also worry about foreign threats, quote unquote threats to our rule. So how do we neutralize these threats? Well, they took a very heavy-handed approach at first. So in a bizarre case, the UAE puts US and EU charities and rights groups on its terror list. So the UAE comes out and has a terror list, this is in 2014, of 83 groups. So in America, one of the groups is CARE, Council on American Islamic Relations. And I've criticized CARE for being very liberal, but that's not to say that CARE hasn't done good work as well for Muslims. But CARE has influence of, people who care about Islam and they care about Sharia, Khilafah, they care about, they're anti-Israel, they're anti-Zionism. And that is, you have people like that who founded CARE, Ikhwan, they're Ikhwani, as is claimed. So therefore they are terrorists, claims the UAE. Again, remember, who started the Sahwa movement? It's Ikhwani-influenced Salafis, right? So the Ikhwan, this is the main threat that they're worried about, and CARE has Ikhwani influence, therefore they're terrorists. CARE is just a bunch of lawyers. They're a bunch of lawyers that, if a Muslim woman goes into the DMV, like the Department of Motor Vehicles, to get her driver's license, and the worker tells her, oh, you have to take off your hijab in order to allow me to take your picture for your license, CARE will come in with their legal team and say, no, you cannot force this Muslim woman to take off her hijab for driver's license. She can take a picture with her hijab. Cases like that. That's terrorism. This is terrorism according to the UAE. Like, that's the level of Islamism that's not tolerated, or conservatism that's not tolerated by the UAE. And they want to dictate to the United States and the State Department that these are the terrorists. Listen to us, just like Abdullah bin Zayed said. Listen to us. We know the radicals. We know who they are. Don't think you know better. Don't think you know better than we know.